terms of moving the field forward, student growth percentile is one of the most robust measures that we can use to identify what teachers are doing a fantastic job and what teachers aren't doing as good a job. So for us to set aside that data and say we're not going to use that, I think would be malpractice when as far as it comes to being a member of the state agency. The second thing is, I remember sitting in a room like this when No Child Left Behind was introduced. I was an assistant principal at the time. And I thought that very day that was an unfair system that was holding teachers accountable for proficiency levels, not how far they took students over the course of the year in their classroom. We now have data that can reward those teachers who take kids very far over the course of the year, very far, even if they're not meeting an arbitrary proficiency level. So we're moving in a really important direction now that recognizes those teachers who may not be able to get their kids to a proficiency level, but make significant strides with them. And they deserve to be rewarded for that. And over time, more and more teachers are going to be added into that tested group. As soon as 2016, high school language arts teachers will become a part of that cohort. And as the PARCC assessments are rolled out, more and more teachers are going to have the same form of accountability. Is it in an ideal system today? No, it's not, but it's a step in the right direction.
But sir, it's 15% of the state's teachers. So the rest are not being addressed.
So right now, we currently differentiate, ideally, professional development, right? The professional development that a PE teacher gets, and a biology teacher gets, should be different. At times, their compensation is different. How they are recruited and the ability for the
compensation is not different, sir.
Well, in many places it is.
No, it's not.
I think it varies from CBA to CBA. Let me just.
Not New Jersey.
The idea is this: is teachers are not necessarily commodities, right? We know that they're professionals, and the tools to evaluate one professional may be different from those to evaluate another professional. So the thinking would be that if we were to ratchet up SGOs to be 50% for non-tested teachers, and to get the 50-50 split, which you're sort of alluding to for everyone, you know, we think, yes, it creates equality, but is it equitable? Is it fair? I'm not necessarily sure it's fair to evaluate a PE teacher for 50% of the student growth. We don't have SGOs that are accurate enough to inform our thinking.
Then maybe we shouldn't be evaluating any of them until we have the correct plan in place.
Well,
Hi, good morning. I'm a principal from Burlington County Special Services School District. We're a public school that services many districts throughout the state of New Jersey. How is this going to affect us? Because a lot of our, well, all of our testing that we do for our students belongs to the district, not to us as a whole. So how's that going to affect our teachers as well as our principals with the SGPs?
Good question.
Through the course roster verification process, which is the fancy terminology for making the links between students and their classroom teachers, that process is very much dependent on local decisions. So if it's appropriate for an individual teacher to be linked to a particular student, that's a local decision. So while a student may be a part of District A where he resides, but day in and day out they're being educated in a school district like yours, the more appropriate link is for that classroom, that actual classroom teacher to be linked to that student in terms of developing an SGP score. So we are going to afford consideration to special education teachers in unique settings so that we are making sure that the measures are appropriate. So I foresee many teachers in settings like yours to be in the non-tested area so that they're setting their own individual student growth objectives most appropriate to their population.
No.
Yep. So if the teacher is in a setting where you have 20 students, who are taking the particular ask, and they're the regular teacher for that student, they would be in the testing category.
Correct.
If that's appropriate.
But we don't get that testing result at our district level.
That's probably something we should change.
It goes back to the districts that we're servicing.
I'll look into that. Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Okay, guess I'm up. Just a touch of demographics. We're a two-school district. We're pre-K through 6, and then we have our high school 9 through 12. So we have 2 principals, 2 assistant principals. I'm the director of special services. I'm glad you brought that up. Where do I fit in?
Right.
You know, I work with my team, my staff. We're totally aware. We have our meetings. They're totally informed. Every buzzword possible. They're questioning where do they fit in, where do the teachers fit in.
When you say fit in,
I was not asked, do I help in developing this evaluation? Because I have not been asked.
let me just clarify, I want to answer, I'm not trying to do it.
No.
You're helping to develop, what specific are you asking? Are you
I'm
asking for
concerned
space?
about the evaluation process, including being proactive where students do not get classified. I work hard with that. I want to know how that's going to work and where do I come in? Because not all the teachers have the special, the special ed background, especially inclusion settings. I mean, then you have, different territory there. So I'm not I'm not sure how equitable it would be for students. I mean, at times, we have your in-class resource, your in-class support. What gets adjusted? And like I said, I have not been asked from the district to participate in any of this. I want to know, am I supposed to? Or, like I said, where do I fit in? Where do my staff and I fit in?
Are you asking how you fit in terms of the evaluation of your special education
In developing
teachers?
this and overseeing, making sure that
Well,
also that,
sure.
because most principals, in due respect to everybody here, do not have special ed background. So, when they're evaluating, there are certain things they miss. I discuss it with them. Some approach me and some don't. So, like I said, I don't know if it's just principals, vice principals, I'm just a lowly director.
Defining the roles of directors and supervisors in terms of job responsibilities, that's a local decision. If you feel that you have input on the evaluation of teachers, you could use your local DIAC to express what you think would be a most appropriate role for you as part of the evaluation process, or just speak directly to your superintendent and express that you feel you have input. But in terms of the job responsibilities of individual administrators in a local district, that's a local decision.
There's sort of a moment. What I'm hearing, right, I'm looking through the positive ones. You want to get involved, right? You want to make sure that it's sort of done in a way that you think has your fingerprints on it. That's what you do. So we want to be able to make that happen. What you're saying is through your DIAC, which is again is a process that every district was going through, they have not reached out to you, right? Again, yes, it's a local decision in some ways, but please follow up with us afterwards. We want to make sure that you're feeling that your voice is heard in this process. SGP, when you think about sort of 1 to 99, they're not. It's not like a thermometer, where in a thermometer 39 degrees is 1 degree exactly higher than 38 and 1 degree less than 40, right? There's not equal properties. So the thinking is between an SGP of 40 and 41 and 41 and 42 can be quite different, right? The actual growth that's experienced. So as sort of the psychometricians look at this, they say is you don't sort of average unlike components, right?
I mean, I understand that a median is good if you have outliers, it's a lot of data, it's more true to percentage. But then why not use that when you evaluate the principal and then get the difference?
Because you can average, right? You can average a class and say, my average class test score was, on the average they scored an 87 out of 100. So it's the statistical properties of the actual assessment.
Then you still could get like 2 kids who get 99 and most other ones don't, and the score would be higher than, maybe in reality it should
So
be.
your question is, why are we using a median for SGPs?
One and median.
Yeah, so it speaks to the statistical properties of the actual determination.
Huh? Okay.
I'm happy to.
My other very quick comment is I'm a supervisor, and I know Owen, New Jersey has supervisors like we have. But when you're talking about the principal doing observation evaluation to the assistant principals, we do more of them than anybody else
Yeah.
does. So we're kind of, it's not who evaluates us, but you need to include us in the picture of doing the evaluation. Because the content especially, even K to 8 or math, you need content people to do,
We could not agree more.
but they're not listed anyway.
So it's not only is it in what we present, it's in the law too. So the idea is to be an observer. What's in,
Now, I understand all that, but you need to recognize in a high school setting, if you look at who does most of the observations and who writes the final evaluations of the subject area teachers, we do 75, 80% of that, not the principal or the, that's all.
so, we agree, that you're very important, you sort of go on